and welcome to the UCI Library's Manga Drawing virtual event. I'm John Renaud, Associate University Librarian for Research Resources. We are offering live transcription of this event, which you can turn on at the closed captioning at the bottom of your screen or by clicking View Full Transcript. I'd like to start tonight's program with a land acknowledgement of our presence on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Achiman and Tongva peoples. If you're not viewing this event from Orange County, California, please feel free to try the link at the bottom of the chat box. The website Native Land helps identify the land of the indigenous people from around the world, wherever you might be located. Tonight's event is one in a series of events celebrating UCI Library's newest virtual exhibit, From I Ching to Manga, UCI's East Asian collection, celebrating 30 years. The exhibit was curated by the UCI Library's Research Librarian for Asian Studies, Dr. Ying Zhang, and the library's 2019 Korea Foundation intern, Soo-Kim Bae. Established in 1990, the UC Irvine Library's East Asian collection supports research and teaching at UCI, and it serves as an educational and cultural resource for the community. In just 30 years, the collection has grown from the original 8,000 Chinese books to a total of over 120,000 items, with access to journals, newspapers, and multimedia resources in the Chinese, Japanese, and Korean languages. This makes it one of the fastest growing collections of this kind in the nation and the largest East Asian collection in Orange County, California. The exhibit celebrates the collection's growth and evolution, highlights its treasures, and spotlights grants and gifts from our local community and global partners. Among these treasures are the anime and manga included in the collection. Faculty and students from across academic units utilize these materials for research. On the virtual exhibit website, users can click on each category and view items curated for each of these themes. I hope you will visit the virtual exhibit at the URL listed at the bottom of the slide, lib.uci.edu/exhibits. The exhibit was originally scheduled to launch in spring 2020 before the COVID-19 crisis. Our team has worked hard to convert this exhibit into a virtual format that can be enjoyed around the world. If you plan to draw along with our illustrators today, please make sure you have paper, a pencil, and an eraser ready. We would also like to invite you to share your drawings from this evening's event by uploading images to dropevent.com/manga or emailing it to manga@dropevent.com. And now, I would like to give a brief introduction to our illustrators, Mando Eijansantos and Tristyn Caneso. Mando Eijansantos is a second-year transfer biochemistry and molecular biology major at UCI, graduating this June. Mando is one of the Artist Alley coordinators for ZotCon, UCI's own anime convention club. Mando started drawing in kindergarten because they wanted to remember the fun things they did with friends, like playing Pokemon, which Mando still enjoys today. Growing up, Mando's parents encouraged studies in sciences rather than the pursuit of the arts, but Mando's grandfather was very supportive and encouraged an interest in art. Thanks to his support, creative freedom thrived, and after Mando finally decided to pursue a career in science. Now, Mando uses drawing as a way to relax and switch gears after a long day of studying and doing research. Taking inspiration from beautiful anime and manga that they watch with friends, Mando loves to create original stories, comics, and manga. Drawing and sharing work has helped Mando collect with so many people, and hopefully others will expand their connections as well. Our other illustrator, Tristyn Caneso, is a graduate of UC Davis with a degree in design. Tristyn is currently a freelance graphic designer, mainly working now on a collaborative anthropology book. Tristyn's love of art and manga started at a very young age. She's been drawing for as long as she could hold a pencil, sketching out anything and everything that caught her eye. Tristyn's parents were okay with her art obsession, but they wanted her to spend more time with educational material, sending her to the library for reading instead of drawing. However, Tristyn had a hard time engaging with the words on the page. She ended up trudging through chapter book after chapter book, not really enjoying the content that she was reading. After some time browsing through the library shelves, Tristyn discovered manga books filled with exciting imagery and unique characters. She instantly fell in love with manga and naturally tried to follow in the footsteps of the authors and artists. Since then, Tristan has read through many, many chapters of manga and has drawn many scenes inspired by them. To this day, reading and drawing manga is one of her favorite hobbies, and she hopes to share this passion with others interested in this art too. Please join me in welcoming our illustrators, Mendel Eijansantos and Tristyn Caneso.
Hi, everyone. All right, let's get this started.
Yeah, let's go.
Let me share our presentation. Okay. Present. Okay, is this in presentation mode? Seems like there's a little bit of lag in my ear. I'll give it a second. There we go. Okay, so thank you for coming. This is How to Draw Manga Characters, hosted by the UCI Library. Can't wait to get started. Oh wow, there's quite a bit of lag, but I'll let it catch up. There we go. Okay, so I'll just give you a brief introduction again. My name is Mendo. I use they, them pronouns. I'm a 5th year / 2nd year transfer biochemistry major here at UCI. I'm also the ZotCon Artist Alley coordinator. ZotCon is a convention run by students here at UCI to celebrate anime, Japanese pop culture, and manga, and all of those things. So if ZotCon is something you're interested in and you really like this, program here and you want to see more of what UCI students do with anime and manga and Japanese pop culture, I will drop the ZotCon link tree when we're done presenting. All right.
Yeah, and I'm Tristyn, she, her. Like we were introduced, I am a UCD alumni, 2020. I work mainly in graphics, but we both have a really big passion with anime and manga, as you can see. But we don't consider ourselves like industry professionals or anything. We're just hobbyists, and we just want to share our love to all of you guys today.
All right. Oh my, seems like the stream is lagging a little bit on my end, so just let me know if like you can't see anything. I can see the chat, so let me know if something's not loading, and I'll let it catch up. But before we get into drawing, I just want to give a brief like introduction. Okay, so if you want to get more into manga, okay, good. All right, if you would like to get more into manga, the UCI library has a very extensive collection of the Shūkan Shōnen Magajin. They have like every issue of this magazine from about, I think, 1950 to 1990s. I'm not completely sure on the dates, but I think they can clarify that for you. So if you're looking to get into manga, you can definitely check out our UCI library collection, and I'm sure our librarians will help you figure out how to check them out and how to get into them. And before we get into actually drawing, I do want to talk about some classic examples of manga style. There are countless ways to draw manga, and each style can represent something different. So I'm going to start off with Osamu Tezuka. He was the artist of Astro Boy and one of my favorites, Dororo. You can see his style here is very recognizable from the 1980s, 1990s. And then Dororo was recently reanimated into a different style in, I believe, 2018 or 2019, but very recently. And then another style I want to talk about is Hirohito Ataki. I believe he gives like a bit of contrast between him and Osamu Tezuka. And this style you will recognize in JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. So it's very dynamic, very sharp lines, it's very action-packed. So there's a couple of classic examples I wanted to give. And then a couple more modern examples. We have Bukubokawa, who wrote Pop Team Epic. So this is a very round and like bouncy, silly style, and it really complements the comedic atmosphere of this manga. And then lastly, we have Yogo Narita. He is also an artist for like an action-y manga, action-y anime. So again, you can see like the sharp lines and dynamic poses that go with like moving action-packed adventure manga. And then lastly is my personal favorite, One. He wrote One Punch Man and Mob Psycho. These are actually the anime styles of of his stories, so like the anime adaptation. One of the reasons I love one like to death is if you've ever read his mangas, you know that he's not like the perfect artist. He has been ridiculed for his lack of skill, but he really just inspires me because he shows me that you don't have to be a perfect artist to write manga, to draw manga. You just have to have a passion for it, and you just have to get it out there. You just have to want to do it, and that's all it takes. Okay, and so that's it for the styles I wanted to show you guys. And so let's talk about some tips before we start drawing. Oh,
Yeah,
materials as well.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about materials today. So what I typically use from day to day, I like to just be on my computer desktop while using my cute little Intuos tablet right over here. Oh, I can't pull it out. But I know Mando uses something a little bit different.
Yes, I use a Surface Pro tablet, Clip Studio Paint. Surface Pro, I understand, is very expensive, but for me as a college student and an artist, it gets everything done. Like, it's a great drawing surface, and it like supports all my study programs, so I just love it. And I use Clip Studio Paint, which is very geared towards manga artists. Like the setup in the program, we're designed with manga artists in mind, and so it's very convenient and very fun to use. All right.
This presentation is not sponsored by CSP.
It's not, I'm just very passionate. I don't think the slide is, there we go.
All right, so while we may have these tools on our hand, you guys can use whatever you want. So we kind of divided it between traditional and digital. So for traditional, it could be anything from paper to sketchbook, pen, erasers, markers, and if like you're super passionate, like paint and all that. But for those of you who may already have some tools, we got things like a computer, a tablet, phone, mice, and we talked a little bit at Clip Studio Paint. And a couple other programs that we like to recommend sometimes is Paint Tool SCI and Procreate. And at the bottom, we have a couple more that are bolded, Drawpile and Aggie.io. Those ones are pretty cool because they are free.
Yes, so actually today we'll be using Drawpile because it allows multiple artists from multiple devices to draw on the same. And I actually really enjoyed this, especially last year because everything's been remote and we can't see each other in person. So it's been a really great way for me to connect with like my friends who don't live here and friends that I can't see. Like we can all just get on the same canvas and doodle and catch up, and it's been really fun. So if you're looking to try a digital program and you don't want to spend money on it, I highly recommend Drawpile. And then of course you can also draw with your friends. It's a bonus.
Yeah, so really quick, we're just gonna go over some quick tips about drawing before we really get in there. So I just want to talk about pressure. How hard you push on your tools matter. So it might seem super obvious that like the harder you push on your pen, the thicker and darker it'll be, and vice versa for when you do it lighter. However, that's something to be like super aware of when you're drawing, just because there's some lines you might want to keep, and some lines that you might want to like have more permanently there. So just being aware of how hard you're pushing is nice and good. Right, next. Kind of going hand in hand with pressure, we got guidelines. So over here on the right, I have an example of an artist using guidelines. These are just lines that sort of measure out your drawing temporarily. And like along the way or at the very end, you can like erase them since they are no longer needed. But we'll be using a lot of guidelines today. It's going to be good and fun. All right. Finally, we got some texture over here. So for manga drawing in particular, because most of the time it's in black and white, it can be a little bit difficult to distinguish between different surfaces. So what a lot of artists will do, they'll do different shaped lines and dots and all sorts of shading in order to kind of distinguish different surfaces and objects. Kind of like what we did today in our presentation. So like you see on like the left side, my little character doing the pose. Like I did different kind of hatching and lines along different parts of the body just to show the shades of black and white. Yeah.
All right. And I believe without further ado, we can start drawing. So
let's
if
go.
You haven't gotten, if you haven't gotten your paper, your pencil, your eraser out, right now is a good time to do so. And then I'm going to close the presentation and open up Drawpile so we can get started.
Yeah, so this might go a little bit fast for beginners. So if you want to like kind of look over the things again, you could go ahead and check out our Facebook link to rewatch the stream. Or better yet, you can also check out some other artists as well who have a lot of more in-depth tutorials. Okay, you ready to
Yes.
start?
I believe so.
so-
My screen seems to be lagging a bit. Can you guys all see the drop pile? Yes.
Yes, we can see you.
Perfect. Okay, cool. And you can see the cute little face that Tristan just drew. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, okay. So today we are going to be drawing an anime character at a 3/4 angle, everyone's favorite. So right here, we're going to start off with the head. And I'm just going to make a nice circle over here. And it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. I'm just going to connect that up. And this is going to be the basis for our head. And next, we're going to be talking about a little bit of the guidelines that were in the presentation. So right here, kind of approximating the middle of our circle, I'm just going to make a straight horizontal line right over here. Yes. And we're going to have this character facing left. So I'm going to make a guideline, kind of tracking the middle of their face. Just going nice vertically up and down. And you see I didn't really put it in the center right over here because that would like have our character facing straight on. But instead, I placed it kind of on the left of the circle over here. So if you sort of imagined a face following those lines, it'd be a little bit at an angle. All right, next, we are going to start from this left area where the circle meets that horizontal line. And we're going to go ahead and go down and make our chin. Yeah, so you can make it as long or as short as you need to. I'm just going to go right about here, though, just kind of meeting at this vertical line. Next, I'm just going to bring this line right back up here to the circle and kind of blend it into the circle. So it's not like going into like a tangent very awkwardly, but just kind of letting it settle in there. Right, so that's our head. Next, we're gonna just really do the neck. So you can imagine this part of the circle being like the base of the head down here. So that's where our neck is gonna be. And I'm just gonna make a straight vertical line going here. And then looking at where our chin met the circle in this area, and then just bring it downward as well. Yeah, I'm just gonna erase this a bit. I'm the kind of person who kind of likes to erase their guidelines along the way. So sometimes you'll see me do that. Okay, next, I'm gonna very quickly imagine where like the middle of the body would be. So I'm going down the neck and kind of making this curve, because when you think about our bodies, we're not really flat boards. So it's really important to incorporate curves into your drawings. Okay, and next, I'm just gonna go into the shoulder, kind of going like right about here on my drawing, making a curved angle downwards. Just kind of sketching it out. And since it's just a bust, I'm only going to bring it all the way down here, kind of to like the upper chest. Yeah. Just a nice triangular shape. And right here, we have our head.
Perfect. All right. Okay, so I'm going to take over here and start adding some facial features. And this is where it's going to get fun. We're going to have some audience participation. So I can see the chat. I can see you guys are ready to go. So that's great. So I want to know, what kind of eyes should we draw on this character? Like, and what kind of character should we draw? Could we make like a cute character, or like a scary character, or like a really smart character maybe? If we can decide. Oh, it looks like everybody's saying cute, kawaii. Yes, cute, kawaii. Okay, let's do a cute character. Okay, so I'm gonna start with, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit if I can get in the face. Okay, I'm gonna start with the ears, just so I can get an idea of where the features of the face should be placed. And so the ear is going to be around where Tristan drew these lines. Oh, side note, I'm using a light pink color for my guidelines. Again, like Tristan said before, if you're using a pencil, you want to draw lightly, and then we'll use like darker colors for the lines we're sure we want to keep, and then the lighter lines will erase eventually. So I'm going to start with an ear here. I saw someone said they wanted a cat character, so you don't really have to draw these ears if you want to put cat ears on later. But this is just going to help me position the eyes. That's pretty good right there. So it goes up from this guideline that Tristan drew down to the start of the chin. I'm going to draw one more guideline to just kind of show me about where the eye should be. Yeah, that's pretty good. My lines are not as clean as Tristan's. It doesn't matter. They're going to be erased later. a lot of drawing is kind of like adding and erasing and adding until you feel like you're happy with it and you don't have to do that anymore. Okay, so cute character. You guys picked a cute character. I'm gonna drop to the side. For cute characters, I like to stick with like really big round eyes, something like that maybe. And if we were drawing like a scary character, maybe like sharp angled eyes instead. So if that's something you want to do, you don't necessarily want to draw a cute character, you don't have to follow our example exactly. So those are a couple of examples of eyes you could do. I'm gonna stick with this one because we want a cute character, smart and cute character. Okay, so you can imagine this is the center of the face here. And you can imagine the nose will be around there somewhere. So that's what I'm thinking about as I start to draw the eyes. And so I'm going to start with my big round eyes based on where I thought the nose would be. That's pretty good there. And then I'm going to start drawing the other one. I recommend drawing both of the eyes at the same time. You don't want to draw one and then try to draw the other one. It's very hard to mirror what you've already worked on. So drawing at the same time has been a lot easier for me. Again, that's not perfect, so I'm just gonna clean it up as I go. There we go, that's better. Yep, so we got a couple of wide eyes. This is the top eyelid and the bottom eyelid, and then I'm gonna draw some incomplete ovals inside. I like to connect them to the top and bottom eyelid, because when you look at somebody, you don't really see their entire pupil. You can draw the whole pupil. I'll draw it off to the side. If you want to, it tends to show like eyes are wide open or like surprise or something like that. So that's just a different expression. Okay, and then for the pupils, we could just do like a circle in the middle if we want. You can also go really crazy with it in manga. You can put like big shinies and like more little shinies. You guys wanted a really cute character, so maybe I'll put like a heart and like a star. So the eyes again show a lot of personality, so you can really be creative there in what you show inside. Let's start with, I'm gonna put a little bit of pupils in the middle just because that's my go-to style. Okay, and then lastly, I'm gonna add some eyebrows. They're gonna go around the top of this guideline. And since we're drawing a cute character, I'll keep them nice and happy. Eyebrows, you can imagine them kind of like a sideways raindrop, if you can see that. But you can also do a bunch of different shapes, so like make it long and like triangular or thick and blocky. So the general idea for eyebrows is that they taper as they get closer to the ears. So I'm gonna stick with something like this. Just make some soft and happy eyebrows at the top here. It's pretty good. Yeah, so they're like a little bit around this guideline. I think that's a little too high, so you can see like we make mistakes as well. I'm going to use my drawing program to cheat a little bit and drag them down, but if I was using paper, I would erase them and redraw them. So that's good for our eyes and our eyebrows.
Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and do the nose and the mouth next. So kind of like following this eyebrow right over here, I'm just gonna make like a line, kind of angled downwards to this middle section right here. And I'm gonna bring it down all around town. Just kidding, I'm gonna bring it just right here. And then I'm gonna stop. Gonna just bring it back to this vertical line right over here. Then we have a nose, but the really cool thing about noses is that they're pretty diverse and you could do it a whole lot of different ways. I tend to just do mine like this, pretty basic, but You can do a bunch of different shapes. Like I know some people do just a line or like just a dot, or they'll like round it out a bit, kind of include like that nostril and like some side parts over here. So just however you see your character fit, you can go ahead and change that. Okay, next I'm gonna do the mouth. So when I do mouths, I try to be like super aware of like the center, like right over here, because it'd be really weird if I just did a straight mouth like right over here. Like that's really funny looking. So I'll like start in the middle and kind of, let's see, just because we have a cute character, I'll do like an open mouth smile. Gonna go down, back up. So you see it's a little bit uneven because this side of the face is like a little bit more squished than the other side right over here. So this will be a bit longer. And then I'm just gonna make a little triangle shape right below that line we made to make the mouth. And this is like a very subtle detail, but I just color like a tiny like square right in this section to kind of like imply teeth a little bit. It's very subtle, but yeah. And for mouths, you can also do lips. So I'm just gonna do like a little line here to be very nice and simple. But some people, they like to draw lips with like 2 curves or 1 curve at the top. Or some people even like to include like the Cupid's bow, like right over here. Then you can have like nice luscious lips on your character if you'd like. But this is what we'll go for today.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So we're gonna add hair next, and I can get some more audience input. What kind of hair should this cute character have? It could be like straight or curly or long and or short. I see ponytail, short. Ooh, I see a lot of people want curly hair, so we'll go with curly hair. Have bangs, pixie. I've seen a couple pixie cuts. We're not gonna do bald today because I want people to learn how to draw hair. But I mean, if you want your hair to be bald, then that's fine too. Short and curly seems to be the popular vote, but I'll throw in a small pigtail or a small. Okay.
Ooh, I like the bun idea.
So when I
like short
hair,
curly bun.
I do. Ooh, short curly bun. Okay, let's get creative with this. Okay, so when I draw hair, I think about 2 things. The first thing I think about is the like the pressure of my pen, like we talked about in the presentation. When you're drawing hair, it's I'm on the eraser. Okay, it's like very light. I don't like drag my pen across the paper. It's just like a flick of my wrist, really. So that would be like straight hair, and then curly hair, the same thing. Also very light. I just like twist my wrist a little bit more. Twist my wrist. Don't twist your wrist.
Always do your artist stretches.
And if you want like really curly hair, you can make it like really bouncy, really small curls, and then get a little bit of like spirals in there, something like that. So that's like one thing I think about. And then the second thing I think about when I'm actually drawing like the hairstyle is to kind of block it out based on like parts of it. So like the bangs, the side hair, the back. So for example, if I was going to draw my hair, like I've got this wild swoop thing happening. So it would be like a short part like that. And then the swoop would kind of take up like this much space probably. So I just keep that in mind of like where the volume of the hair will end up and kind of what it looks like on the head. Okay, so we decided like a curly pixie cut with maybe a bun or 2. I'm going to erase these sketches so I get more space. I see someone's redoing. That's totally fine. Like I can't even tell you how many times I erase things. That's why I like digital art, is because you can just keep erasing it and the paper won't wear out on you. Okay, so let's start with some bangs. The bangs will be like kind of in this area. I'm just gonna mark it out for myself, and then maybe some like stuff on the sides. Pixie cut, I believe. Let's go down to like chin length. That'll be good. And then maybe it like comes out a little bit. And maybe some bangs or some buns as well. So I'll make some space for some little buns. Oh gosh, that's gonna be so cute. Okay, so now I'm gonna fill this in with the textures I showed you guys. I'm gonna go with like the medium curly that I went with. So gonna make my color a little bit darker because I've been doing a lot of sketch lines. Okay. Okay, so then I'm gonna start filling in these blocks with like the strokes that I showed you earlier. I'm not really paying attention to like where my pen, like where I'm putting my pen. I'm just kind of thinking about the flow of it and the flow of the hair. Curly hair is like so beautiful because it can be messy. It's not like, it's not all just one area. It gets all over the place and it's very nice and flowy. So I'm just gonna keep filling in the space with these like loose squiggly lines. Again, not really paying attention to where the pen ends up, just kind of letting it flow down. Yeah, so that looks pretty good. I might clean that up the more I get a better idea of how I actually want this to look. Like maybe I'll brush some of the hair off to one side or something. But for right now, I'm just gonna fill in the lines I made. Here we go. I see Tristan is cleaning up some of her guidelines as we go. Feel free to do that. I personally wait till the very end. It's kind of satisfying to me to see the finished drawing out and erase all the guidelines. Okay, since she's got some buns, I'm gonna draw this like little area here that is tied up into the bun. So I'm making this one straight because there's like pressure straightening the hair into the bun, right? So there, you can't really see it on this side, so I'm not going to draw it there. And then for the buns, again, there's going to be a little bit of pressure on them, so they won't be as curly. So I'm just going to like fill in these circles I drew with some lines to kind of mimic the way the hair is just pulled together. Go. If you're not exactly sure what it should look like, I highly recommend looking up pictures. References are fantastic. If you know what you're trying to draw looks like, then you can definitely look it up and just try to visualize. Okay, and I'm going to draw the rest of her hair coming down a little bit, so maybe it actually cuts off right here, and then this part is down again. Just gonna finish filling in the little area I mapped out. And there she is. And then another little secret I like, especially with curly hair characters, is to just draw a bunch of like loose strands that make the hair look more fluffy and more voluminous. So like that. And that's looking pretty good. This is a really cute character. I love her. Okay.
It almost looks like she has ears.
All right, and that's it for our hair. It kind of does look like she has ears. It's very cute. Got a little cat character after all. Okay.
Oh, nice. Okay,
All
so
right,
next we're just gonna talk about the
Sorry,
clothes
there
today.
we go.
Okay. Yeah, my laundry's done. Anyways, now what kind of clothes should this character draw? Should have. Jacket. Ooh, Miku headphone. Jacket, hoodie.
Hoodie.
I like hoodies and
Ooh, you could
jackets.
do like
Maybe.
headphones on. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Like a jacket hoodie. Yeah, let's get that in here. It's only going to be that upper part, but I think that's the most important part when drawing hoodies. So, right over here, I'm just going to start off with the opening of the sweatshirt. So, kind of approximating like the shoulders. Going to have one line down here and one line up here, kind of making this V shape. And at the ends, I'm gonna like curve them because our clothes tend to be pretty soft. So having a nice curve, like implying the fabric softness is good. And then right over here, I'm actually gonna just make this first fold, just kind of going around from the back of the neck. Like about halfway from that V right over here. And then kind of starting down here, I'm gonna go down and then make like another kind of bumpy shape right over here. Yeah, just gonna erase some shoulder parts just so it's a little more clear as to where a hoodie is at. And then actually over here, I'm gonna edit that bump and make it go downwards, because if we like imagine the hoodie, it would like be over here. So I'm gonna do something similar on the other side. Make that curve. And like just sort of imagine like it connecting is like a really good thing. And I'm gonna bring the second bump and kind of have it meet towards this general area right over here. So let's erase some of this. Then have that curve over. Got a hoodie. Oh yeah, if we wanted to make it a jacket, we can actually like split it in the middle right here. And instead of connecting it, you can just go downwards, but it is all up to preference. And we can give this character a shirt underneath. So just gonna make a nice oval shape over here, remembering our ovals, because we have soft clothes and not funny Lego clothes. Then I'm just gonna put like a little collar down here. Add some details maybe. This person has like a zipper, so I'll do like a little square part on both sides and like little lines over here. And a lot of hoodies like mine have a drawstring, so I like to just put like a little dot and then make like a line come down right over here. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side.
Yes, the drawstring is very important. All right. Nice. So she's looking really good already. The last thing I'm going to do is add some accessories. So I'm also going to start erasing some of the guidelines I have so we have more room to add more personality to the drawing. So I'm going to start erasing this and then some of these lines that kind of interfere with the hair flow. Let's see, a couple of loose lines up here. One of the things I like to add is a little bit of detail in the ears. So just like guts like a V shape at the top and then like a curved line to show the thickness. And then just a little bit of squiggles inside the ear. Personally, I just draw some squiggles and hope it looks good. But again, if you really want it to look accurate, you can look up pictures and base your drawing based on pictures. She seems like the kind of girl who would have some really cute earrings. So I'm gonna give her a little bit of dangly earrings with some hearts in it. What other things should we put on her? I want to put blushes, a couple of horizontal lines just to make her smile a little softer. Do you guys have any other ideas for like accessories and etc.? Freckles is a good one. Glasses. I like the idea for glasses.
Ooh, glasses.
Let's do glasses. Okay. I really like big circle glasses, it's very hard to do in one swipe, but I'm gonna. No, that doesn't look good. Okay. All right. If you can't draw a line in one swipe, which is understandable, it's very hard. It's a lot of practice. You can do a bunch of little lines to kind of just like guide your way in. I'm not going to draw the entire circle because I want to be able to see like the detail on her face. And I'm kind of judging it based on where her nose is. So like the center of the glasses will be here. And part of it will be hidden by the bridge of her nose. Go. That's a little big, but it looks good on her, so I'll leave it like that. And then I'll just connect them in the middle, like a bridge. And then I'll tuck it behind her hair towards her ears. You can imagine it goes all the way back to her ears. There we go. If I was coloring this, I might like make a white circle in front of her eyes to mimic the glass, but we're gonna leave it black and white today. A scarf, I saw idea for a scarf. I think we have a lot of neck detail though, but you can definitely add a scarf if you like. It'd be a lot like the hoodie, just connected in the front as well. I think we're pretty much done with her though. She's looking gorgeous. So the last thing I'm going to do is again erase the guidelines that are left over. There's a couple more here. And when I'm more done with the drawing, I will go over it again in a darker color. It looks like Drop-Pow's lagging a little bit and Tristan's icon is getting in the way, but that's okay. I'll make the lines darker, the ones that I want to keep. I'm going to cheat with my drawing program, which can just change the color of the lines for me. So I'm going to do that. But normally I would go over this drawing with like a pen or a darker pencil or something like that. So I'm going to recolor the lines. So I'm just change the pen to recolor, and I'm just going to scribble over everything that I drew so that it turns the lines nice and dark for me. And then I can kind of see where I forgot to erase some guidelines, so I'm going to do that there. Just kind of cleaning it up. Like I said earlier, a lot of art is just like cleaning up and erasing and fixing until you're pretty much satisfied and you don't want to fix anymore. So, wow, there she is. She's very cute, you guys.
Yeah.
So that is the end of our very short tutorial. If you followed along, like the UCI library just posted where to upload it. So please upload it. It'd be fantastic. I think I can. Should I stop sharing my screen now? Library staff, would you like to take over?
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for that fascinating presentation. Thank you so much. I'd like to invite audience members to submit questions. We know we've had a number in the chat, and so again, if audience members would like to submit questions using the Q&A button at the bottom of the screen, and if you'd like to, and again, folks are encouraged to submit your finished drawings to the link in the chat so we can share with everyone afterwards. And I just, by the way, for folks who have commented on the drop event site, Carlin and her team have troubleshot that, so you will be able to upload it at this point.
Thanks so much. So our first question is, how do you make full looking lips? You kind of went over how to make the smile. How do you make fuller looking lips?
Fuller looking lips. Would you like to answer that, Tristan? And then you do.
Yeah, definitely. So I went over it just like a little bit, but I'm just gonna make an example pair of lips right here. They're just gonna be nice and front facing. So for fuller looking lips, it's just kind of adding like the depth of the lips mass and just kind of making like curved lines over here. Yeah, let's see. We'll give them nice luscious lips. So you can just do like curves, make them as big or as small as you please. Right here, I'm just gonna do that Cupid's bow. And then kind of like connecting it all back to like these corners right over here. But typically when drawing anime and manga, they don't really fully connect because a lot of it is pretty simplified. But you can still get really nice lips. And for like some instances, you can like do shading and like really emphasize that to get that really beautiful depth and show like how wonderful these lips can be.
I would like to emphasize that Tristan like left kind of like, she didn't draw all the details, like the center of the mouth. Like you can tell that it doesn't just like disappear right in the middle, but and then of course it's not completely connected. Especially in manga in black and white, it's kind of hard to show kind of textures like that. And so like you can use the absence of lines to suggest texture as well. And that's kind of what we're going for here with like, again, with the pressure and the texture of the lines, it kind of like fills in the blanks to suggest like full and voluminous lips.
Thanks so much. Our next question is, how long have you two been drawing?
Oh, okay. I've been drawing since kindergarten, probably. I used to just like draw stick figures of my friends because I loved like having fun with them and I wanted to remember it. So it's been a long time for me. And honestly, what I have to say, like a lot of things I strongly believe about drawing is like, you have to do it for a long time to really be good at it. And if you started early, like if you started at a young age, then eventually people will call you talented. But even if you start now, yeah, it's really just a lot and a lot of practice. And like the people who are called talented, they just happen to start young, I guess.
Yeah, I also started off pretty young, but Like it was just all casual, like drawing in the margins, like maybe occasional sketchbook, but I don't think I like really took it like super seriously until I got a lot older. Kind of going off of what Mando was talking about, you can like start at any time, which is really great. There's actually this manga that I read where this high school boy starts like at the end of of his like high school career and like just puts his heart and soul into it and gets super good at art. It's really awesome. And that could be you too if you haven't done it before. So yeah, blue period. Yeah.
We are getting a lot of questions about hair. How do you know where to place the hair? I've struggled a lot with that recently.
Oh, can I?
Yes. I can. Oh, go ahead. Go first.
Yeah. So
Where are you drawing?
let's
Let
see.
me
I'm gonna go onto
Yeah,
like
right.
that left side over here. So I'm just gonna make like a quick whatever head over here. It's not gonna be perfect, but it gets the job done. So I think what you want to do is to kind of start with where you want to part the hair. So for example, if you wanted like the part to be over here, I suggest drawing maybe like a guideline to just start it off, and then just sort of imagine like what direction the hair would go in. A lot of pre-drawing is just imagination, which is something that definitely is like needs to be practiced. Yeah, so that's like for a side part, for example. But if you wanted it like those haircuts that are straight in the middle, you kind of have to like imagine it kind of going like around the head. Does that make sense? Just kind of like this starting point right over here. Yeah. And like with that in mind, I can like make like a really quick like haircut, kind of following those arrows. And then we got solid bowl cut right here. Yay.
We have another question about hair, which is how do you draw bows around the ponytail?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that one? It was a bit cut out a little bit.
Sorry about that. So our next question is, how do you draw bows that go around the ponytail?
Oh, bow around the ponytail. Okay. Can I add to your bowl cut, Tristan? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's awesome. Go for it.
All right. So imagine this character has a ponytail coming off the back here. So again, like going back to what Tristan said, I like to start, when I draw hair, I imagine where it starts and I go towards the bottoms of it. Most of the time. Sometimes it's easier to go the other way, but that's like very situational. So that's what I'm doing here. I can imagine the hair is going to flow like that. So that's what I'm going to fill in. Just going to make it big and bouncy so we have some room to work with. There we go. And then how to draw a bow around a ponytail. So let's make a big bow. The first thing I'll start with is the actual hair tie. And for me, it's kind of like a little triangle thing. Let me use a different color so you can see it better. It's like a triangle, like here. You can imagine that this whole piece is kind of like a circle that goes around like this. But you can only see like the top part of it. And then to get the rest of the bow, I can imagine that on both sides of it, the bow itself will just kind of peek upward. So like this. And really you can make that as big as you like. So if I want to do a bigger bow, let's see. Oh, I forget this program doesn't let you back up pretty much. Okay, so I'm gonna make it even bigger so we have more room to work with. And then you can imagine that it comes back towards the knot behind the head where we can't see it. And then I'm gonna draw some like just some strands that come down. Oh, my head, it's gone. That's okay. Okay. So, all right, there we go. So, and then you can imagine that the bow is like hollow on the inside, right? Like this. So that's what I'm gonna draw here. I'm going to like fill in this little texture here. And then if you want to make like the folds of the fabric, you can kind of just make some that follow the curve. of the stretch of the bow and then like kind of fold inward. This one's not very good. I'm gonna fix it. So that's kind of how I would draw a bow. I keep a lot of the details like around the knot where the folds are, and then it kind of like, it's very wide and open along the edges, so it's not quite as not as much detail to let the fabric just like flow, if that makes sense.
Thanks so much. Our next question is, how do you draw folds in clothing? I can never seem to visualize them. What tips do you have?
Oh man, folds definitely were a super big struggle
Yeah.
with drawing, honestly. A lot of it for me was just kind of like staring at like curtains and like different clothing types that I normally like to draw, and like seeing at what points clothes are like typically folded at, or sometimes I like to look at other artists and see what they do. For like particular clothes like sleeves and like pants, I always do this one thing. I'm just gonna erase right here. Like this is one thing that's like I learned this in high school once, and then I never stopped doing it because it's like, whoa, this is like so like amazing. But for like a sleeve or like a pant sleeve right here, so like imagine that like at a 90-degree angle, for example, I'll do like a loop right over here, and then like a couple like lines and that's like tension. But basically when it comes to clothing, it's kind of identifying where like it's being pulled and like pushed. So like if this is like a person raising their hand in like a t-shirt, the folds are gonna like wanna fall like this way. Yeah, but it's like practicing like both your eye and your hand to like figure out where these will go. There are some tips here and there.
I would say like you can imagine, you can see very obviously like for like elbows or knees, like at points where there's a bend on someone's body, there's going to be pressure there on the clothes, and that's where it'll fold and stretch. So that's something to think about. In clothes, where there's a fold, there's going to be a stretch somewhere else, like because they're no longer like at rest, I guess. Me being a scientist. Okay, so and the way I really got good at it, honestly, was I would sit outside and just draw people I saw, and just getting used to like the way their clothes, like just kind of like what's the word? Just the way that their clothes look when they're doing natural things like sitting or walking or things like that. It does take a lot of practice, but there is a pattern to it, and you will find the pattern the more you study it. I see someone said they use references. That's a really good idea, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of going back to like training your eye and hand by like staring at pictures a lot and drawing them out a lot.
Great, thank you. How do you deal with drawing characters in poses, especially if you can't find a good reference? Also, hands, how do they work?
Should I answer this one?
Yeah, go for it.
Do you mind if I go first? I love drawing poses. I mean, I kind of went crazy for this one, as you can tell. And yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Oh, this is not what I want to open. When I really can't find a pose, I will stand in the mirror and like just go crazy and stare at myself until I can say, okay, so this finger kind of looks like this, and I'll try to mimic that on the page. If I really can't get it, I'll take a picture of myself and then I'll like look at the picture. So again, using references to really like make sure you've got it down in a natural way, and actually like try to do the pose that you're trying to do. Because if you kind of if your like arm is hurting trying to hold that pose, then it's maybe not like the most natural thing. And of course, if I can't take a picture because I'm doing something like way too crazy, then I'll have like my housemate take a picture of me. So and as for hands, again, looking at a lot of pictures, and like at least with hands, I have a free one most of the time, so I can like look at it and be like, okay, so it kind of looks like this. It definitely, again, all of this like clothes, hands, poses, they all take a lot of practice. I had one of those like mannequins before, but they're kind of limited, honestly, and going to the source material, like a human body, is the best, I think. What do you think, Tristan?
Yeah, like those like wooden mannequins, they're so bad. They're better for like a paperweight, honestly. But another thing for just like poses in general and like references, you don't necessarily have to like use one reference as well. It's like, whoa, I like this guy's arm and like how it's moving, but like I like how this other person is like twisting their body. That's like another way to approach it as well. And the very unfortunate piece of advice that like every artist will just end up giving is like practice, practice, practice. So like is different ways of saying that of practice. So just like oh, another thing is like looking at 3D models. Like I know like CSP has models available, so you can like look at hands and like even pose like your own character if you like want something very specific. So that's one way to go about that.
Great, thank you. This question is, how do you eliminate artist block when you're having a hard time? Yeah.
You want to go first, Tristan, or should I go first?
Let's see. I think for this one is pretty tough. Like every artist struggles with it at some point. Sometimes like I have to like stop myself from just like drawing and like actually just take a break and just like not think about it, because sometimes like when I take it too seriously is like when I like do the worst. And yeah, so sometimes I'll like do really easy things like, oh, I'll like draw like whatever's on my table, like, oh, I have like a water bottle, and like I make just a dumb sketch of that. And this is actually a really silly one, but one way that always got me like back into drawing, just because like it was funny, was like I would draw memes with my friends and she's like, hee hee, look, it's SpongeBob. Like it's like, wait, I can draw. And just doing low-key things, like kind of letting yourself relax during artist block, honestly, helps me personally.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I had a period of time where I didn't want to post anything or like work on anything unless it was like a fully colored, like rendered, beautiful thing. And that is honestly the worst attitude, because then it's just you're putting too much pressure on yourself to like make it perfect and not to just draw. So for me, what got me out of my art ruts is like doing draw pile with my friends. So and like it's like the free atmosphere of like I can just draw whatever I want. I can draw a meme like Tristan said, or like one of my favorite characters or something. And it's just like, I guess the change of attitude and mentality is really what gets me, is like if I'm not drawing like something I have to draw, but something I just want to draw. And if it feels like it's work, then maybe you do need the break, and sometimes the break will help you reset. So.
Mm-hmm.
So jumping off that question, how do you stop yourself from judging your own art?
I don't know if there's a way, but just kidding. Judging our own art, let's see. I think just stop. I had to like really be very serious about like having it be like more about fun and like reflecting on like, oh, why am I doing this art? This conversation can get so deep, but like judging my own art, sometimes how I approach it is like, oh, what don't I like about it? What can I fix? And just like practicing on that and just like slowly feeling happier with how my art is. But if you've met any artist, no one's ever happy with what they make. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's such a silly way to put it, but
Okay.
let's see. Yeah, Mando.
Yeah, what I would say is, sometimes, like Tristan said, a lot of artists are very self-critical. Like, I'll post something and then like a minute later, I'm like, oh no, and then I'll take it down. But the other thing is like, there's a productive way to be critical about your work. I think if you are comparing your work to like your past work, it's a very productive thing to do. It's like, oh, I've improved here. Like, I used to draw this way, and like I wasn't able to draw this before, but now look what I can draw, and look what I still need to work on, and that's what I want to work on. I think judging your own art gets really counterproductive when you start comparing it to other artists. Because like we said earlier, like we start drawing at different times, and like because of our schedules, we practice as much with others, and it really is a time commitment. So I think comparing, like I really got better at drawing when I stopped comparing my art to like other art I saw online. That's different from like being inspired. Like I love seeing manga and like wow, I want to draw like that. But I don't like you don't want to go online and say like, man, I'll never be that good, because you could be.
Yeah, exactly. Just like let yourself like be bad too. Like not every drawing is gonna be a winner, and sometimes bad drawings are fun. Like honestly, just make a bad drawing and it just feels good to get it out of you. Like, and it's okay to make them. Yeah.
All right, we now have time for one last question. What style do you like better, cool or cute?
You wanna go first, Tristan?
Let's see. Honestly, it depends on my mood. If you were to like ask me like, oh, what like manga do you like recommend, or what anime you recommend, like I'll go like all over the place. Like I like rom-coms, I like action adventure, I like super dark things, I like things that are like slice of life. But I don't know, it just like really all depends on my mood. But I think for me, I just like almost a little bit of everything, because I feel like every like style has something very interesting to offer. That's
true. For me, I really got into manga and anime through like action. My parents were really into superheroes. I think that's where it started. So I tend to go for like the cool, like dynamic styles. I think if you could see from like the PowerPoint, like I tried to make all of my poses like, you know, moving and everything. So that's my thing. I'm not really good at drawing like little cute characters like Tristan drew next to our thing here. That'll take me a long time, let me tell you, but I do appreciate it. Like Tristan said, there's a different, like the different styles convey different attitudes, and they're all very powerful, and they're they can be used in different ways. Like you can see cute styles in action stories, and it conveys a different emotion. So that's my thing on it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that wonderful answer, and thank you for a wonderful presentation today. And of course, to the audience, thanks all for joining us. A recording of this event is going to be posted on the UCI Library's YouTube channel, and we'll be sending a follow-up email after the event with a link to the recording. We would like now to share a few of the images that you've been kind enough to uploaded. So you can continue to upload your drawings by scanning the QR code on the screen, or emailing the image to manga@dropevent.com, or going to www.dropevent.com/manga. If you hadn't had a chance to check out the virtual exhibit, I hope you'll enjoy its many treasures. The virtual exhibit can be found at lib.uci.edu/exhibits. If you would like to support the library's initiatives and public programs like this one, please consider becoming a member of the UCI Libraries Gateway Society at www.lib.uci.edu/gateway. Please do join me in giving a final thank you to our wonderful illustrators. Thank you for coming, and all of you have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you.